Here comes the nasty gram.
Send a priest to save my soul, forget it.
Welcome back to the Nasty Gram RPG podcast. This is the Ithaca Project, Fifth Law, the Velocity of Violence.
Feeling it too hard is the poison to the heart of a cynic. Redemption.
Atticus is addressing a small group of people at Roshan Hall at Cornell, here to honor the late Dr. Otto Laporte and the status of the Project North Star. Thank you, Dr. Gibbs. Hello, everyone. I won't take much of your time. For those that don't know me, I am Dr. Atticus Kane, and I considered Otto not only a colleague, but a friend, as I'm sure many of you did. I am here to provide some information into the circumstances around Otto's death and the ongoing status of Project North Star. When I arrived here in Ithaca just a few short days ago, I was stunned to hear of Otto's passing. He had a towering intellect, and his contributions to the field of spectronomy and physics will not soon be forgotten by any of us. A brilliant mind taken too soon. It is a tragic irony of a man that fled Germany for safety here in America and found none. It's a broken promise that weighs heavily on my heart. I know that we're all scared and we're angry, but I'm here to tell you that those responsible for Otto's death will be brought to justice. We have found evidence as to how they came and went into the campus and how they entered the building from the roof. We have accessed what they have stolen and what they have left behind. Additionally, it should be known that Dr. Zwicky is currently missing and considered a person of interest. If any of you have any information on his current research, the science and other subject matters he pursued at home, or if he contacts you, please alert either Sergeant Buckholz or Agent Slater immediately. Your safety is our top concern. We've added some new security to the building, and a member of Ithaca's finest will always be present on the premise until the culprits, whether they be Nazi spies or saboteurs, have been caught. As for the matters of Project North Star, the work is now more important than ever. Dr. Gibbs has gone to great lengths to bring this team of minds together. I need many of you to suspend your current projects and focus on the research of both Dr. Laporte and Dr. Zwicky, specifically the area of dark matter. We need to know everything we can on the subject. This is about national security. There are sinister and unknown forces at work, moving swiftly against us. Godspeed.
Welcome back to the Nastygram RPG podcast. I'm Josh, and I will be your handler.
Hey everybody, I'm Matt. I'm going to be playing Sergeant Gilbert Buckholz of the Ithaca PD.
Hey, this is Devin. I'll be playing Counselor Audrey Ann Pearson of the FBI.
This is Jake playing Alan Slater. What am I, an FBI agent? Yeah, Agent Alan Slater.
Are you, though?
Yeah,
Are you?
Maybe. Or I'm a spy.
Defunct.
German spy. Hey everyone, this is Dan playing Atticus Kane, the scientist.
All right, guys. Well, by the power of editing and time passing, I can now tell you, welcome back to the Ithaca Project. We didn't know that was going to be the title because I wanted to kind of get into the arc and sort of let the players feel it out and collectively come up with the title. And it's also been a little bit since we last recorded. You'll have some recaps along the way, but to recap things quickly for our players, you guys are in the basement of Dr. Fritz Zwicky's simple but cozy hillside home on the outskirts of Ithaca, New York. And after an extensive search of his home, which uncovered not much beyond what wasn't there, which was namely Fritz Zwicky and a lot of his personal effects he may need to kind of survive day to day, his cat and other things. His equipment in his basement, what seemed to be a large and fairly well-equipped scientific lab, well beyond home tinkering, that specifically Dr. Kane dug into a little bit was all gone. And following some gut instincts, I believe it was Agent Slater discovered some strange things in the bathroom and led his research to kind of look below and revealed a hidden bookshelf, or a bookshelf that hid a entrance to a small, I don't know what you'd call it, a collection, a small personal collection of things in a astronomer's basement that were quite strange. There's artistic pieces. There's paintings, sculptures from all sorts of different time periods, styles, cultures. Some represent figures that even a layman could kind of notice. Jesus Christ, Joan of Arc, Rasputin, Alexander the Great, some mythological figures, religious texts of a variety of doctrines and faiths, Korans, Bibles, Torahs, Hindu and Sumeric, different Mesopotamian cultures. Along with that, connecting that, storybooks, mythologies, star charts, astrology readings, manuscripts in a variety of languages, books, titles as distinct as Earthquakes, Volcanoes, and Tsunamis, The Forgotten Pharaoh, Solar Eclipses and Recorded History, Haunted Estates of Western Europe, Mystery Gas, an analysis of mass hysteria, The 9 Lives of Jordan Morwich. On its surface, the only thing that is common is that these are things that you would not expect to find in a hidden room of a scientist working on a top secret government project. To all of you, this is odd, confusing, challenging. To Dr. Atticus Kane, this is more than that. So, Danny boy,
Yes,
warm up
sir.
those dice,
Oh, boy.
and I want you to make a sanity check. This is so, you know Fritz Zwicky personally. Not well, but you've met him. You're more familiar with his research, but you are a scientist. You are keyed into a lot, if not the specific goals, a lot of what's happening here at Cornell in Ithaca. The fact that this is here, the fact that it is hidden, is mind-bending. Make that sanity check. Pass, 1. Fail, 1d6.
That's a pass. I got a 16.
Okay.
You don't have to tell us.
You can, though. I mean, it's
Okay.
a podcast, right? They should know.
Should we all take our headphones off?
Everyone just wants to see him go crazy.
There is a point of Delta Green where the sanity loss being private is a cool thing because you don't know how much is affecting the agents.
Right. You said 1 for a succeed?
1 for a
Well,
succeed.
I mean, we'll know it through Dan's amazing role playing.
That's right.
Yeah.
Correct.
You'll be able to
Always.
notice that 1 point of loss.
Great googly moogly.
And we'll pick it up right here.
I
It's,
would have just said great googly before.
Great googly.
it's nighttime, not late night. It's probably 8, 9 o'clock. You guys are down in the basement. There is a single bare bulb illuminating, casting its shadows across this room. You guys probably have a couple flashlights down here as well. And we'll pick it up right there. You guys kind of take in these sights. Tell me what's happening.
Agent Slater kind of swings the flashlight around and he says, "What the hell am I looking at? We got paintings, books."
I think Atticus says nothing. He stands kind of still in the room, his eyes taking it in, trying to reconcile the nature of this room and its contents with the scientist that he knows.
You know, I read somewhere that the Nazis were looting museums. Could this stuff be from Europe? This looks valuable. I pick up one of the paintings.
I mean, it's nothing come across my desk around here about stolen artwork and books.
Well, in my line of work, the only reason you put stuff in a secret room is because it's stolen.
Or worth a lot of
yeah.
money.
Josh,
What if he's crazy?
I think Atticus kind of shakes the cobwebs out. Can I make a art check as
Yes.
to determine the valuation of these pieces, or like whether or not they're authentic oil paintings? Or
You can. And if anybody wants to tell me how they're kind of taking this in their own way, tell me what you're doing and tell me what skill you're using and maybe give you some more insight into what's here and what you're pulling from it. So go ahead, Dan.
no, that's a 91.
A 91. What's your art score?
20.
20. Even with a fail, what I'll tell you looking around is that nothing here is noteworthy. Like
Sure.
there's no fucking Rembrandts down here.
Yeah, right.
There is nothing here that is immediately recognizable as holy shit. That's that. And even a couple ones that you recognize are clearly a reproduction,
Sure.
a print.
Atticus kind of stumbles a bit when he says it, but he says, no, I don't think these are worth much. I think they're all things you can buy at the store. Prints. He knocks on the glass of one.
There's some things, I mean, you definitely see books here that are, it's not to say that there isn't
Sure.
value, but
Yep.
there's no like, this isn't a like
Treasure
the cat
trove.
burglar's hidden lair
Yeah.
with millions of dollars of
This
art.
isn't a D4 art pieces.
No. But there could very well be things here that are rare, that are
Yeah.
hard to come across or collect.
Antiques, but not masterpieces.
Correct.
Yep. Okay.
I think Counselor Pearson notices the lump in Dr. Kane's throat, and she'll, as Slater is walking around investigating, she'll come over. Dr. Kane,
Counselor.
why would a scientist collect things like this? I would imagine he would have diagrams and charts. I expect more to find academic books, textbooks, than she motions towards the stack of the Bible, Quran, the Torah.
Atticus is kind of wringing his hands in this sort of dark room, looking down, and he says, I don't know, quite frankly. The work that this man did, the work he performed, it's all consuming. That is to say, I do not think the man capable of having two separate paths, that this must be connected to the science of it, but I couldn't tell you how or why.
Counselor Pearson's eyes sort of scan the room again. There seemed to, especially with this dull glow of the naked bulb, does there appear to be dust or things? Does it look like perhaps the doctor spent time in here, or was this a repository?
This does not look like a room that has sat unactive.
Okay.
You know, it's in a basement. This side of it is unfinished.
Yep.
So, you know, it's not clean per se, but these things have not been sitting untouched.
Okay.
There's things that are clearly new. If you want to kind of use a roll to extend on that further. Dan, one thing also to add, because you do have some knowledge personally and indirectly of Fritz Zwicky that I will tell you, which also added to the reason you made your sanity score.
Mm-hmm.
Fritz Zwicky is known as an atheist,
Okay.
which is much less common in 1940 than it is today. You know this because he published an article, semi tongue in cheek, about the disproving of God.
Yeah. Okay.
Not a serious academic piece, but kind of a
Poking fun at,
slam.
like,
Yes.
Immanuel Kant, who used theorems to prove the existence.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So I think Atticus, as he's standing next to you, Aubrey, he picks up the Quran and he says, and he looks up at you kind of in the eyes and he says, the man didn't believe in God or gods, plural. He is an atheist. That is to be sure of.
An atheist. So, is this all research material for him then? Part of a grand plot to prove it's all wrong?
I think on that for a second, and then I think of something else. As someone who actually, I have science astronomy, I do know, I think historically that sometimes scientists have used like astrological events, like in the Bible and stuff like that, like when people witnessed a comet and wrote about it as a way to date things in history. There seems like there's too much information here, but
there's too much in America. 1940 is a traditional, relatively conservative culture. However, it's not a place where you'd be fucking locked in chains for necessarily having those beliefs or having some documents. The fact that this is a secret fucking room in his basement kind of takes that beyond the point of just like a passing study.
Right.
Agent Slater, do you read Hebrew by any chance?
No, can't say I do.
Jake looks down at his character sheet.
I think I'll start with this one then. And she pulls over onto a clear spot on the table. She opens up the Bible.
Is it in a Hebrew Bible?
No, there's a
okay, a
Torah
regular
as well.
Okay. Oh, okay. I see. I say, if this was all some sort of research, or if he was studying these things, trying to help prove his theory, there'd be notes, right? There'd be dog ears in the books, or notes in the ledgers, or he'd have notebooks. I start looking for that.
Okay, so you're looking for
in my mind, this is before Google. You can't just look up what a picture looks like. So he wants to have all the things that on hand to help prove his theory. So there must be something he's written or his notes or his research or something. So I'm looking for that.
Okay.
Yeah.
I guess I would say a search roll on that.
Is there
Do you have
any
a-
way
do you
I
have a
can
good
assist
search?
him with that?
I'd like to as well.
Yes, if you guys can either, I will give him a bonus to his search if you just want to assist, or if you have a different skill that you feel kind of correlates with that in an investigative fashion, I will let you make your own roll.
I have a history of 30, but I think in Counselor Pearson's legal sort of background, she's categorizing. She's finding, in sort of, I think her history, she's read the Bible. She grew up in a God-fearing family. So maybe turning to certain books, Revelations, Deuteronomy, some of the more severe sort of books, maybe of the Old Testament, and seeing if there are any dog ears. And then if there are, then handing them off to Agent Slater with his extensive knowledge.
All right.
Yeah.
Just kind of helping out, or your own
Buck doesn't
take on
really have
anything?
anything that's gonna help in disseminating any of this information. So like helping look for physical items is going to be his best.
Okay. I'll say this. You guys are all talking and working and looking. Why doesn't Agent Pearson make a history roll with a +10? And Agent Slater make a search roll with a +10.
I think Atticus is walking along the walls looking at everything here, and he says back to Agent Slater, he's trying to just keep moving now. He's trying to kind of exercise some of his nerves. He says, and he has his hands up, and he says, Yes, you're right, Agent Slater. This must be part of his research, and if anyone were to ever come and visit him, he wouldn't want them to have any whiff of such a thing as this. He waves his hand to the room.
Guy looks bad. Someone finds all this stuff in his house.
Does anyone
Not exactly
have-
the image you want.
Anthropology.
No.
Nope.
I did not take that. I took archaeology.
I have art journalism.
Why don't you roll archaeology for
All
the
right.
shit of it?
Sweet.
Okay, results. Anybody?
Success.
Pearson failed on the history check.
Just missed the archaeology. I got a 35.
Okay. On the archaeology failure, kind of the same stuff you're put together before, just to, reinforce, really dispersive in terms of cultures, timelines, dogmas, every possible belief and culture you could kind of imagine is represented one way or another. And that might be the most noteworthy thing, is how, like, there's like a book you find about old American, Inca, Aztec, Maya things, like relatively obscure, especially in this time kind of stuff here.
It's like a sandbox, just like the Project North Star.
Like, that is what you discover, even with a fail, that just with your archaeology background, like, man, you are checking all the boxes of not every single, but like
Every major civilization.
most
and culture.
major civilizations, old Chinese, old,
I think Atticus says, kind of continuing that circle around the room, he says...
And I guess, sorry to break you, but I as a Counselor Pearson, together, you guys both kind of sort of come to that same sort of things as you guys are discussing aloud what you're finding and looking for.
Atticus just says, Counselor, I do believe that if you take all of this into account, the fractured nature of it, the diversity of it, the only thing you could be looking for is a commonality. Yes, there's the breadth of culture, of history here. There is no single in-depth point. There is no specificity. There is only breadth. And so, therefore, his research must be looking for a connective tissue between all of them. Yes?
Yes, but if this is research, then where are the notes?
Jake, that is what Agent Slater focuses on. And what is missing here is any kind of documentation or notes. None of that is here. Nothing. There's not a scribble. There's not a note. But you do find maybe the way, not necessarily dog-eared, but the way a couple things were fallen, or maybe a book was kind of stacked closed, but maybe laid open on something, that some of the religious texts in particular, when you kind of open them up naturally to where they fell or where they were resting, open up to pages that are about the interaction with supernatural, with the divine, with angels, with demons, with devils.
I kind of, I'm like opening books. I'm like leaving them open, and kind of moving around.
One thing to add, with that successful search roll, there are things that were here that are not here.
Okay.
A minority of items. But there's a couple like hooks. There's a couple places that were clearly like something was there and is missing.
I say.
He took the long sword.
I say, I know that one. Joan of Arc. I've been there. Orleans. She was in a battle there. Apparently she thought she talked to God. I think that's the common thing here.
Speaking with God, Agent Slater.
God or devils or whatever it is you believe in. It's accounts of people communicating with the unnatural.
Or the unnatural communicating through people. And Audrey is looking at the image of a woman being burned at the stake.
And not solely, especially some of the books, like there's a book about natural disasters. There's a book about astrology.
There's things missing, too. He left in a hurry, but he brought some stuff with him.
We need to find out where he went. We need to secure Dr. Betts. If this is any indication of some sort of, I don't want to say madness, unfortunately, and that makes this all the more dangerous as the man, we cannot predict his next movement.
Man stops believing in God. What's to stop him from just killing anyone he thinks is a threat?
What's more dangerous, I think, is if he believes that he was spoken to or commanded to commit these atrocities.
Perhaps in the greater context, the danger is what he's working on.
There's only one way to find out.
Matt, Buck, you've kind of been laying back a little bit, stepping up and helping as somebody like kind of called out, brought attention to something, you've been looking, whatever, but you're sort of a little bit more holding back for this, feeling a little bit out of your field. And you're actually the only one standing at the entrance to this room. The light falling down the stairs from the headlights of the car that you left on suddenly flicker as if something moved past them.
He's going to reach toward his belt and at the same time say, it's something outside. I'm going to go check it out. And he's going to start walking back towards up the stairs with his hand on his gun.
Slater immediately follows and draws his gun.
Atticus's eyes flash towards the door and stays very still.
Audrey puts her hand on your shoulder, looks at Atticus in the eye. Stay behind me.
Does everyone here have a gun?
Not you. Come on.
He approaches very slowly, very cautiously.
You walk up the stairs, Buck, Slater, Pearson, Kane, moving up. At the top of the stairs, you're in this hallway, and directly in front of you, about 15 feet ahead, is the front door with the glass showing all this light shining in from the headlights. You walk forward, Buck, hand on your weapon, open the door. You step out onto the front steps. Do all of you move outside?
I do.
Yeah.
Pearson is just inside the door. Her hand is sort of back, motioning Atticus to...
I think Atticus is standing kind of behind, not in the open doorway, but looking through like a window outside next to the door.
Okay. Buck and Slater, as you guys step out down the front steps, this quiet night in Ithaca, out in the hilly woods away from the city. The moon is fairly bright. It's a clear night. The illume is pretty good. The headlights right in front of you are kind of washing out your night vision as you're, holding your hand up in front of your face to block them and looking side to side. Both of you guys give me a awareness roll.
Alertness.
Alertness.
I would do this all the time.
Alertness. Do either of you have survival?
Jake does.
Yeah,
Jake's a nature
Yeah,
one.
I have a
I do.
10%.
the default 10%.
Yep.
Or do you have over the base 10%?
No.
I have a 30.
Okay. Add a 20 to your roll, Jake.
Okay.
A 20 to your alertness roll.
Okay. I already rolled. I made it.
Matt, did you leave the car running or just the lights on?
Probably just the lights on. I didn't think he would
Okay.
have left the car running.
Yep.
Battery's dead.
Oh, boy.
Just kidding. It's been fucking 15 minutes.
Gas is 40 cents a gallon. You can't waste it.
34 under 60.
3460 and Jake?
60 under a modified 90.
Jesus. Okay.
Wow.
Buck, your eyes sweep along. You block out your hand in front of your face and you kind of move to the side, pivot your flashlight, and you pick up reflections. Your hand tightens on your pistol for a second as you see two sets of eyes reflecting back at you. And as your eyes kind of squint in closer, your flashlight focuses, you see two deer at the edge of the woods, kind of stock still, staring, looking back, kind of like they're focusing back at you as you're standing there. Jake, you follow his gaze. You pick up the same thing. What you also pick up is that the peepers have gone quiet.
Are the deer looking at us?
They are right now. You just walked out, made a little bit of noise.
If you don't edit in papers, I'm going to quit this podcast.
No, they went quiet.
They went quiet.
Oh, that's true. You got to do it from the doorway opening.
I am editing all the peeper noise that you can hear. Wait, give me silence.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's good. That's good Foley, Josh.
Atticus whispers to you, Audrey. He says, "Is there anything out there?
I don't know. It's quiet.
What are they doing? Where are they gone?"
I just kind of stand there for a moment, just kind of looking into the darkness in every direction. I actually start walking towards the car, trying to get past the headlights.
Okay.
So they're not shining in my face.
So the car is basically directly in front of you. You
Yeah.
pulled up right to the house. The deer are, as you're looking out, off to your right.
Mm-hmm.
The left side of the house, if you remember, you went around it. That's kind of where it's all woody and drops off. There's a porch around the back side.
So I kind of walk around the left side of the car, past the headlights. So the deer are on the other side of the car. But
As you walk forward towards the car, you hear some rustling and the deer run off further ahead. You look down as you're walking and you see some kind of like tossed dirt and gravel. It looks like the deer kind of ran right across here.
right. I look back from where they would have ran from,
Okay.
and I actually start walking that direction.
Okay.
I'm
And
following.
I haven't said anything, but
behind
it's
him.
clearly I'm like still on alert. I have my pistol out still, my Colt revolver.
All right. Both of you guys give me another alertness roll.
With the mod?
63. Success.
An 11 under 60.
Ooh, that's a critical.
11 under 60.
That's a crit.
Crit success. Buck, you're kind of following Slater's instincts. For whatever you guys have come to, not much of a wonderful working relationship, but what's clear is that Slater and Buck have a certain level of instincts that you've noticed in common with each other. So you have begun to feed off each other a little bit. Slater moves forward, looking at the deer, looking at the tracks, moving in this direction, and kind of casting his flashlight around. His flashlight pans. Buck, as you move past the car headlights, you kind of drop your flashlight down, and you just follow his eyes and his flashlight, and you catch a silhouette crouched in the woods 30 feet away from you. About 15 feet into the woods, he kind of sweeps by it and moves past and is taking a couple steps forward. You lose sight of it as soon as the flashlight moves past.
I'll throw my flashlight up into where I saw that figure.
You bring it up quick. You see a dark figure crouching in the woods. You see two eyes reflect light back to you.
Slater, on my light.
So, let's talk about how initiative works
boy.
Gross.
in Delta Green.
It's
Devin.
It's Enkidu.
As a
Sounds fun.
previous
I want to
handler,
throw up.
Yes.
confirm dexterity just goes off your. I'm sorry, initiative goes off your dexterity score from
Correct.
highest to lowest.
Your raw dexterity score.
What are your raw dexterity scores?
10.
10.
12.
Oh, 11
Ooh.
for Pearson.
Okay, so 12 for Buck, 11 for who?
Pearson.
For Pearson.
Pearson, 10 for Slater and Kane.
Yep.
Buck, you and this figure move at the same time. In your flashlight, you see a metallic glint raising towards you. So,
It's Joan of Arc's
how
sword.
it works in Delta Green in combat, you take one action. Your action can be to move, to shoot, to do any other kind of physical thing that you can imagine in that situation. A defensive maneuver is your action. I'm going to tell you, following your critical success with your tied initiative, there's a gun being raised at you. You can either try to take a shot at the same time or try to dodge this shot into some cover.
I would like to try to dodge this shot. but I want to try to make sure that I can keep my flashlight on this figure.
Okay. We'll see how well you do.
Bold move, Cotton.
Bold move, Cotton.
It's 35 under 70.
Okay. You have a success at a higher roll than this figure.
Have we talked about the contested roll?
Yeah, I was just looking at that because I thought when I saw you roll that, I was like, okay, Matt's dead.
I think we've mentioned it. So
Okay.
when you're rolling a contested roll, it doesn't matter what your score is. All you do is you either succeed or fail. If you succeed, the other person fails, you get it.
Sure.
If you both fail, kind of go by whatever happens. If someone's shooting, someone's dodging, and they both fail, it's not a hit. If you both succeed, whoever succeeded with a higher roll
Okay.
wins.
That makes sense.
So, Buck moves his flashlight, yells, "On my light," sees the glint. As he's holding his gun, he rolls, dives to the side, kind of towards the porch, hits the ground, keeps his flashlight in the direction, and there's a pop, pop. 2 gunshots ring out, kick into the dirt, and one clips off the house. Buck hits the ground. Pearson.
Doctor, get down.
Yeah, that scream was the doctor falling to the ground.
Okay.
Pearson just squeezes her eyes shut for a moment, and she hears her father's voice. Be brave, Audrey. And she swings out the door. The Colt 38 Super comes up, and she holds it up, shoulder to the door frame. And I'm going to actually do the aim action.
Okay. So you're taking a round to focus in an aim. This figure is in partial cover.
Okay.
Plus, there's some natural concealment from the darkness, even with some flashlights out there.
I think she just wants to get eyes on it. She knows that Buck's light is on it. If this thing can move quickly, she wants to keep eyes on it. So she is just looking down the sight at this person. She sees the glint of the metal, and she's just keeping an eye on it. If it runs, she wants to know where it goes.
Okay.
If it stays put, she wants to take a shot.
Jake Slater.
I'm blasting.
Blasting fools.
So I'm blasting.
Okay.
I just shoot.
You pivot back immediately. You already were keyed in by Buck. You swivel your light back. You got 2 sets of light. There is some cover. So I'm giving you a -20.
Whew. All right. Fail.
Fail. Okay. Mark of failure. Your bullet rips off a tree. This figure is, like I said, about 15 feet into the woods. So you clip a branch, hear a snap.
Do you have some sort of supernatural power that does damage? How do you do damage? How do you fight?
I don't fight.
What?
Like I'm a scientist, bro.
How do you fight, dude?
He pulls out the Quran and
What are you
starts
going to do in the
reciting
dungeon? When
an
we get to the
incantation.
dungeon, what are you going to do?
There is no fighting from Dr. Kane
shield.
whatsoever.
Oh, you're a healer.
Yeah. No, I'm a bard.
Are you gonna give
bad
it
bard.
inspiration?
Yeah.
Okay.
My inspiration was scream and dive for cover.
Okay. You're still inside the house.
Yeah, no, I got that. But
right.
I heard the bullet.
Gunshots.
Yeah,
Well, one hit the house.
One hit the house.
Yep.
Yeah. So I think that he's kind of scrambling along the wall of the house, and he kind of nervously kind of peeks his head and looks out the window and tries to assess what's happening first, and then I think later we'll kind of take a quick scan of the house to make sure no one else is coming in from behind, using his military strategy. Yeah.
Wonderful. Give me an alertness roll.
That's a success. 21 under 35.
Okay. You move up to the front door as you drop down to all fours and kind of scramble. Your heart's immediately pounding. And you kind of poke your head outside. You look a little bit off to your left. You see Buck down on the ground, flashlight and gun in hand. Pearson kind of just set in a 3-point stance, pointing gun forward, focusing in. You see Slater just kind of like cast in shadow, a little light bouncing off him furthest ahead. You kind of like stop and you look back. You see motion
Oh my fucking god.
at the back door
I just got nauseous.
where you guys walked in.
Holy
out
shit.
on the back porch. You see something move past.
Atticus, his eyes kind of go wide, and he says, Aubrey, there's someone else here.
It's Audrey, not Aubrey.
Audrey.
I
Rude.
Also, I think so. To go back a little bit, I didn't think of this, but I'm sure my well-trained FBI agent would. He probably announces that he is FBI before shooting
Sure.
this person.
Yep. Fair enough. I'm sure Buck did the same thing.
You don't have to Mirandize them
You're
after
all,
it.
you're all clear for a good shoot if anybody listens to this.
Yikes.
It's 2022.
Yikes.
It's the 40s. You didn't need to be cleared for a good shoot.
Just sprinkle some crack on them when you're done.
Yeah.
Okay. Buck,
Woof.
you're on the ground. You're kind of like you're under the start of the porch. So you have a decent view. There's kind of like the stone foundation of the house and a couple of the wood pillars of the porch giving you a bit of cover, and you can raise yourself up enough and you still have some visibility on this figure. You see them start to brace to move.
Dope.
Remember, you guys are acting simultaneously.
Okay, I am going to use the... Is it pin? I basically want to try to...
Suppress.
Yeah, suppress, that's it. Like lay down some cover fire to try to keep this person, pinned on this tree so Slater can
Could be
get
a thing.
a better shot on it.
Okay, I'm going to tell you they were trying to dodge and move away. So this contested roll, if you succeed, you're not going to hit them, but you're going to prevent them from moving and give Pearson and Slater a shot.
And
So
that's just
make this
firearms?
Firearms.
Word.
Oh, it is called pin.
That is 20 under 60.
Okay, that's a success. They failed. You see them kind of raise up and push back, and you pop, 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 rip off four shots. And you see them kind of immediately drop back to their side and kind of like the feet skid out a little bit under them. They're on a little bit of a slope that drops off right behind them. So they're sort of very close to where they were, not able to move away. Pearson, you hear obviously buckshots, Slater calling out FBI, and then you hear Dr. Kane calling from inside. There's something else. You're focused in
Someone
else.
I'm conflicted. There's a moment of conflict in Pearson's
You
head.
got a quarter of a moment to act.
She realizes that...
You are the only one close to the doorway.
Okay. She realizes that she told the doctor to stay close to her. And she says, "Doctor, we need to get out of here right now." And she's going to physically grab him and start and pull him out. You said this porch goes sort of three ways around the house.
On the back side.
Okay.
On the front, it's just like steps up to the front door.
I have a shot on this guy, but I have to. The doctor is Audrey's responsibility.
Okay.
Yeah, she's going to physically grab him and try to get him to cover safety.
Okay. Give me an alertness roll.
Okay. 68 over 20.
Okay. You just look inside, grab him, get him outside the door. It's pretty easy to put him in a spot because they're around the corner of the house.
Okay.
So you get him immediately out into a spot where you are in between him and both threats that you think you're aware of.
Okay.
Slater.
I'm gonna take another shot.
Okay.
You just do one thing, right? You don't.
Correct.
Yeah, no move.
He
bonus action.
He used
No.
his action to dodge.
All right.
So if you do a defensive action, dodge if you have cover in a firearm situation,
Yep.
melee combat or brawling if you're in a physical one, you can use that defensively. That counts for all your defensive actions.
All right, I'm gonna shoot again.
Okay. Minus 20 on this one as well. Actually, minus 10.
Failed.
Failed?
Yep.
Okay. They are kind of still in place, but they are still back in cover, still tough visual conditions, holding a flashlight in one hand. Kane, you're outside the house. Agent Pearson, Counselor Pearson grabbed you, threw you down. You're sort of like...
Atticus scrambling kind of alongside of her, I imagine, points his hand across like her body back to where he thought the person was, the direction they were coming in.
Okay.
And he says, I do believe someone's there.
Atticus, in the car.
Atticus kind of hurriedly half jogs towards the car, half scrambles like away from Audrey and to the car at that point.
Okay. Back up to the top. You get over to the car. You kind of like skid in the gravel below it and like reach up, open up the door, and we'll have you right there. You go to the right or left side of the door.
I go to the left. I don't like that matters at all. I hate that.
Okay, it does.
Okay.
You're not tactical. I like that you just answered quick.
Yep.
You left yourself exposed.
Perfect.
Back up to the top. Buck, you and this figure again. He tried to scramble away. You see him now pivoting back. What's your move?
I'm going to try to take a shot at him. Try to hit him center mast.
Okay. You've been working on this guy for a little bit. He still has some cover. I'm also going to give you some cover from him. -10 to your roll.
Ooh, fail. 93.
Ooh. He failed by 1. You aim a shot, focus in. You see the flash of the muzzle as you pull your trigger again. And as that happens, you get showered with splinters. This post, just like 6 inches in front of your face, gets hit, and wooden splinters kind of flick over you. Take 1 hit point of damage. Okay. It only missed because of the cover, so I'm going to say there's a little blowback there. And I might give you a little bit of a minus next turn, just the very next turn, dealing with that. Pearson.
Dr. Kane pointed to where he believed the entity that he saw was moving, and she's going to, as she's like sort of scanning, she sees Buck engaged, she sees Slater engaged, so she's going to turn and look to that wrap around to try and catch if this person believes that if this thing, I'm sorry, if whoever this is comes around and believes that they're going to get the agent and the sergeant, she wants to be there to intercept.
Very nice. Okay.
What would you call that? Would that be like is there a sort of...
I don't know what it's called, but I know what I'm going to do.
Oh, wait.
Is there ambush?
Agents can choose to wait to take any action after their dex order comes up. Anytime before your next turn, you can insert your agent's action before the next action in the dex order. Your agent can't wait until another character acts and then jump in before it's resolved. But your agent can jump in before the other character's turn comes up.
Right. And I'm going to give it to you in this case if it's focused in that area.
Sure.
Slater.
I guess I got to hit eventually, right? Before I take a shot, I yell, Atticus, on the horn. And then I take a shot. And do I have a negative?
I'm still going to give you -10.
Then I miss.
Brutal.
Trust me, you're gonna like these -10s if you're ever in cover and someone's shooting at you.
This is
Ask
wild.
Matt.
Handguns are hard, man.
All it takes
Dude,
is one.
Yeah.
Handguns from like 30,
I know.
40 feet away.
I know.
With your heart pounding in the
dark.
middle of the night.
While other
running.
people are shooting. Yeah.
Counselor Pearson, you kind of move past where Kane was. You're at the corner of the house. Buck is on the ground in front of you.
Shoulder on the wall.
Slater's out ahead. You're around. You see a silhouette move around the corner, and you see it pivot, weapon in hand, towards the back of Agent Slater.
Audrey's already there.
Take your shot.
Don't miss. Just lie. Just make it up.
Oh,
11.
No minus.
009.
Okay, I thought you were saying
Like 100.
Okay. What weapon?
This is a Colt 38 Super. I imagine this is medium at the smallest.
Yes. I'll call it medium.
Yeah, Colt 1911. I think
Mine
it's a
says-
1911 model.
Is that D8?
D10.
T10. Okay.
Mine says Desert Eagle .50.
Roll damage.
Niner.
First damage roll.
Ow.
9 damage. You hit this figure center mass,
Just like Daddy taught her.
and it drops. It drops. It falls back around the corner of the house.
So for my memory and for the listeners, hit points. I have 11.
I have 9.
You have 9. But if you go down to, if you have 2, you're out of the fight, right? If you go down to 2,
You drop unconscious
you're
at 2.
unconscious at 2.
You're
right,
dead
right.
at 0.
Yep.
So that would have made me unconscious.
That would have made me dead.
would have made you dead. Okay.
And there is no death saves. There is no minus. You
die.
You die.
It's one shot. Boom.
Yep. Buck and Slater, you hear a gunshot whip over your head from behind you. You are both have been in the ship before, so I'm going to say you both are aware enough to know that that is Pearson behind you, shooting in a different direction than you expected. You have some awareness of what Kane was yelling about. You know that there's a second figure. You don't know what they hit or didn't hit. Kane, you are at the side of the car. Doors open. Slater just yelled to you.
I lay on the horn while simultaneously reaching and starting the car.
Okay. I love interpretation. Get on the horn.
Love it.
Love it. Yeah.
You know what though?
You're going to give him a
I'm gonna
character point? I don't know.
I'm gonna give the enemy a little bit of a minus. I'm gonna give a minus 10
I'll dig it.
as they're startled, because the last thing they would expect in the middle of a gunfight is to someone to lean on a car horn that was trying to get to
There
safety.
you go.
Buck, you're there. You wipe. You feel like a couple trickles of blood on your head. You know you're not hurt bad, but your eyes are kind of like stinging a little bit. You still have visibility. I'm going to give you another minus 10 if you're trying to take a shot at this guy, so you're at a minus 20 with the cover that he still has.
I think with that sort of shrapnel in his eyes, he's going to try to just... Buck uses a Colt 1911. He's only got... he knows he's only got 3 rounds left in his magazine, so he's just going to pop all 3 off to try to suppress this guy against this tree again.
Okay, give me a firearms roll.
85.
Okay. Not great.
Oh, boy.
As that happens, you see the figure kind of flash and rise and move off the back of the slope deeper into the woods. Pearson, you're facing forward, flashlight in hand. You have the car lights kind of flooding past you. You're looking at this corner of this house, this porch where you saw this figure kind of just round the corner and then get dropped back.
She whirls around. She knows that the agent and the sergeant have been engaged. She's going to whirl around with the flashlight and try to get eyes on the other target.
Give me an alertness roll.
001. That's a critical success, actually.
1.
A 1.
001.
A 1 is always a success. A 100 is always a fumble.
Okay. Even though that character already acted
Yep.
to move away with a crit success, I'm going to say you move in time to get a shot at them. And with a crit success, I'm going to give it to you with no penalty. You
Okay.
kind of get one nice visual.
They've given up sort of their cover in order to
Yep.
escape.
And
Okay.
you see them as they kind of move across a little opening from your vantage point.
She exhales as she squeezes the trigger. 28. Under. 30.
Counselor Pearson, sniper.
By the way, if Josh just had you kill Matt's partner, who's like coming to give back up, my mind will break.
Yeah, it's Sheffield.
Also, I love how
It'd be okay if it was Sheffield.
with he hit twice with 2 shots with a 30 skill, and I missed 3 times with a 70 skill.
That's wild.
Buck, what's your skill?
60, I think.
Dear Lord.
4.
She never
Atticus
thought she was
never missed.
she never thought she would have to wield a gun. She was in law school. She went to the range with her dad and her brother because her brother wanted to be a cop, and Audrey persisted.
Now everybody like listening to the show is like, oh, of course they made the fucking female character marry Sue.
More like what's her name?
Ray.
8.
8. Okay.
Dear Lord.
Hit the figure. You can't tell. They drop. They move. They're moving. Gone.
Okay.
Slater.
I holster my weapon and run towards that hill, towards that drop off.
Okay. You start running into the woods, and
Slater.
you get to the crest of it, and it drops off quick and fast. Your option: you can either hold up, reassess, get your flashlight out, or follow the path and dive. It's either going to be alertness or athletics.
I'm gonna hold up, like
Okay.
stop up there and pull out the flashlight.
Okay, give me a alertness roll.
Success, a 9.
Okay.
See, it's easy, Jake.
Just roll low, bro.
You see a figure about 40 feet down, kind of skidding, sliding down this ravine side. A tough shot from where you are.
And they're still moving.
They're still moving. They're not falling.
Okay, that's my turn, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yep.
Kane,
I stop
stop
beeping the horn.
beeping the horn.
And I kind of I close the door behind me, and I kind of crouch in the car, waiting for what I imagine my compatriots to join me in the vehicle.
The car is running, and you look down at this device crackling of the police radio.
I reach for it, and I just hold it on. I click it on, and I say hello.
Okay, you click it on, you say hello.
Yeah.
Fudging with history a little bit, but I'm going to say this is one of only 2 cars in the department that actually have a portable radio installed. That was this isn't your normal car, by the way, Buck. This was given to you as part of this assignment.
I'm glad it didn't get shut up then.
Is that not normal at this time period to have
No.
radios in the cars?
Not in like a regular police car. Radios
They
are
just come into use. They still use
that's-
police call boxes.
Yep. Especially that's where these like call box lights throughout town are set up. So cops would be on patrol, and if a call came in, the lights would just go on, and that means they have to get to a phone and call the police station to figure out what has to happen.
Is this car a Volkswagen by any chance?
No.
Okay.
Okay. Back up to the top. Buck.
I think Buck can he see where Slater ran off to, or is he sort of
Yes.
off in the dark?
You still see him. He kind of stopped maybe like 10, 15 feet into the woods where it really starts to drop off.
Can probably see my flashlight.
You
too.
see him, yeah, you see him in your flashlight, and you see him pointing his flashlight like in a downward angle, kind of sweeping and then holding.
I think he's going to get up from behind the porch, and he's going to yell, "Pearson, get him out of the car and let the station know," and he's going to take off after Slater.
Okay. You yell to Kane, then move towards the woods. You catch up to him. You see him looking down. As you get to him, you see some silhouettes and movement now growing further off in the distance down this hillside. Pearson.
Pearson runs to the car.
Okay.
She's going to open up the driver's side. She's going to slap the doctor's hand and grab the radio, and she's going to click it on.
You hear a call back. Station calling, Ithaca PD. Identify yourself.
Ithaca PD, this is Agent Pearson with the FBI. We are here at, she reads off the address that we are at. 2 gunmen, 1 down, 1 in pursuit. We have 2 agents. Shots fired.
Copy, Agent Pearson. Address. Pop, 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 pop. Shots fired. Shots fired. 1 down. Units en route.
She throws the thing down and says, if they're on their way, direct them. Stay in the car. And she slams the door.
Okay. Slater, you see this figure. It's moving. You don't know. You assume this figure wasn't hit because they're moving down.
Okay, I'm not certain that they got hit.
No.
All right. That changes what I'm doing then.
See them moving down the hillside.
Okay.
They're moving pretty quickly.
All right.
Borderline recklessly, you would say.
And Buckholz is there now?
Buckholz just ran up to you.
All right. I say keep your light on him. And I'm going to start going down.
Okay. It's rough terrain. So it's not like you fall, you die. But you lose your footing, you're going to lose the pursuit.
Yep.
So give me, I would say, athletics, unless you think you have something otherwise.
Seems appropriate.
Okay.
Fail. 58.
58?
Over 40.
Okay.
Old Man River.
Yeah.
You don't fall on your ass. You just kind of, you're losing your footing a little bit. You're sliding. You're moving down. You're just losing the pursuit. Pearson.
Pearson is going to scan. Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
All good.
Kane.
But did the order shift? Because I know he held his.
didn't.
Okay.
It
Okay.
didn't.
Kane will put the car in reverse and cut the wheel so that the headlights are now on the part of the woods that everyone else is in.
Okay, nice.
Yep.
All right. You sweep him over. You see just Buck kind of lit up in that direction.
Maybe drive it over the cliff.
Yeah. Pursuit through the trees.
Pursuit.
Activate the flubber in the car and start.
There we go.
All right, back up to Buck. You see Slater moving down. He's moving okay. A 40 athletics, you're fairly competent, but this figure is just kind of making ground on him. You still are catching glimpses of movement, but at this point, they're probably 80, 90 feet away. So the glimpses are getting more infrequent as there's more terrain between you and them.
Is this sort of a ridge line? Like, would he be moving lower on this ridge, left or right of me?
He's moving lower on the ridge in front of you, kind of directly past the house.
So if I moved along the ridge, do I feel like I could keep the light on him better?
You don't. You the only to get to the road gets back down to where this road goes lower. You kind of winded your way up here. So the only way to get there is to go forward or to get on the road and go all the way around.
Yeah, I think if I think I'm going to lose him up here, I'm going to start making my way down, trying to keep my light on this figure, trying to I can't think of the word, like triangulate where he's going away from Slater, if I can try to get some sort of intercept course going a different route down or something like that.
I'm gonna do this all at once, a little bit out of order. If Slater, if you are going to continue your pursuit, I'm going to have both you guys roll athletics, as well as your who you are pursuing, and if one of you has to win to keep this, basically, once he beats both of you again, he's gone from a foot pursuit.
Okay.
So he rolled, he succeeded.
Okay.
Or she, or they, or it.
Fail
as well.
Oh.
Okay. Pearson.
Pearson yells, Kane, trunk.
Get in the trunk, you think he means.
Like an elephant trunk, or like, I'm not sure. Kane is sort of.
You think there was a trunk inside, like an old shipping trunk.
Yes.
You need to
I've
get
been
it.
in Europe
He
for a
didn't say
while.
the boot.
It's boot.
Yeah.
It's boot, guys. Get it right. So Kane is kind of white-knuckled at the moment, and I think what he's doing, he can't really see anyone out in the woods other than Audrey.
She is still by the car.
You're still by
the car. You look. You saw first Slater, then Buck go down the ridge.
His vision pans to the porch.
Okay.
Is there any sign of what happened?
You don't see any. You just see that corner of the house. You don't see anything from where you are.
Okay. Kane doesn't move. Kane stays in place.
Okay.
The car running.
Okay.
Okay. Pearson, what's your next action going to be?
She's going to look for more if there's anyone else in the area. She does not want to leave the professor here unarmed. I'm guessing Buck and Slater are gone from visual range. She is going to sort of stay close to the car, sort of crouch down and just scan the horizon.
We're going to exit initiative.
Okay.
Give me an alertness roll.
26 under. Oh, no, sorry. 26 over 20.
Okay.
Ooh.
Really just trying to level you guys up. Just roll everything.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I get little points for that.
You don't see, it's quiet. You hear maybe some muffled movement or shouts in the direction of Buck and Slater. You hear Kane kind of trying to get his breathing back into control in the car behind you. You hear a couple, squawks on the radio, an update, unit en route, ETA, 15 minutes. It's quiet. Slater and Buck, you guys kind of come to a stop about 50, 60 feet down this slope on a rocky outcropping. You stop, both of you kind of catching your breath, looking at each other, kind of give a nod, looking over, assessing. You see a couple like splinters and drops of blood on running down Buck's face, Slater, as you look over at him. And then as you look down at this rock, you see a streak of blood on it. And you look down and away and see nothing.
You hit Sergeant?
No.
He is. I point down to the blood.
Good. Very good. Let's get back up this hill. We gotta get to the car, check on Kane, Pearson, whatever's down on that porch up there.
Pearson's she throws open the driver's side door. Says, Kane.
Where are they?
Trunk. And she puts her hand past you and opens up the trunk.
Slater's still kind of like looking into the darkness, kind of exposed at the moment. And then he hops off of that rock, and I'm looking at the blood.
Cool to see from the ridgeline, the headlights coming out.
Yeah.
In the woods too.
Is it a lot of blood?
No, it's like a streak, but you know that the person wasn't hit here. You know that any shots that were fired were further up. So really, kind of any amount of blood that's more than a drop or two. I mean, this is like a little spatter, which means a considerable amount of blood loss from somebody moving quickly by.
Okay. I say, the road meet up over here.
Get out. Snakes down.
Are we like too far to yell back to them?
No.
I yell, Detective Pearson.
I'm a detective now.
Agent Pearson.
Slater.
Drive around. Down the road. Meet us there. We're not climbing back up that. Might as well follow this blood if we can.
Buck, you know that it's probably, you're just guessing, but probably 200-300 feet further down, at least before you hit the road. As far as getting a car and driving, it would take a couple minutes to drive around, and it would take you, at least a couple minutes to get down to that wrap of the road.
I'll probably get there the same time if they leave now. I mean, try to track him, but I mean, he's got to be hit hard. And there's not many hospitals up here. He's gonna need medical attention soon.
Let's at least get down to the road. See if he crosses it. See if there's any blood there.
Okay.
Any chance there's a service shotgun in the trunk?
Oh, there most certainly is an Ithaca Model 27 shotgun.
It's in like the back seat in a rack that you could reach back and grab.
Okay. Doctor, can you drive?
I can. What about the person behind us? What's happened to him?
Until we find the sergeant. Actually, is there a procedure? I don't know, but I'm sure Agent Pearson knows.
When engaged in a gunfight with multiple suspects and you think you hit both of them.
That's true.
No, the SOPs are not that clearly written in 1940 or now.
We need to secure everyone. She gets in the passenger seat. She has a shotgun laid across her lap. Drive. Take a right out of the driveway. Loop around.
Atticus starts driving, and he's talking like nonstop, nervously, obviously.
Okay.
He's asking questions about if these are the two people we think murdered Dr. Laporte, or what they were after, or what they were doing, that kind of stuff.
All right, you get in the car, Buck and Slater. You're making your way, quickly but safely and efficiently down this slope. Kind of moving quick, keeping your flashlights up, looking around. Sort of like you find yourself instinctively kind of bounding. One of you kind of looking for a minute as the other one keeps moving. Slater, Kane, and Pearson, you guys get in the car. You back on the road, dark road, no lights of any kind up here. You drive down, then you get to this slow, long bend around. And around the same time, a few minutes later, the headlights kind of sweep across, and you see a couple figures in the woods to your left. And you see Buck and Slater emerge from the tree line as your squad car, Buck, comes pulling up with a white-knuckled Kane in the driver's seat and a shotgun-toting Annie Oakley
Yeah, that's it.
in the back seat, pull up kind of to a stop in front of you.
Get in, losers. We're going shooting.
I've been kind of looking for blood while we make our way down to the road. And when we get here, I say, Audrey, you hit him? Did you hit him?
I think so.
All right. Dr. Kane, do me a favor. Put it in reverse. Back up about 200 feet. Come down the road slow.
Certainly.
I'm looking for blood to see if he crossed the road.
Okay. Give me a search roll.
Audrey's going to cover the agent.
Plus 20.
Made it. All right.
Nice.
There's no blood on the road. And that's all you can kind of see right here.
All right. Sergeant, you got a map?
Yeah, the glove box.
All right. I pull it out and I put it on the hood of the car. And I say, where's this guy going?
Atticus
He's on foot. He's wounded. He hasn't crossed the road here.
has put the car in park
Okay.
and gotten out of it. And he's standing with you looking at the map.
You can, in the headlights, you see up ahead of you, not far, maybe another 100, 120 feet. The road bends again, even sharper this time. It goes down another dog leg, kind of switching back. Dan, give me a alertness roll for Kane.
Hate it.
Or, you know what? I'm sorry.
Well-
Search. I was going to say it's the same roll.
I say,
Yeah, it was a good roll, too.
I say,
Use that roll.
Sergeant.
That's fine. It's the same roll.
I critted this time.
Critted? Very
Yeah.
well.
Use the first roll, Josh.
As he's doing, I'm saying, Sergeant, if they had a vehicle parked somewhere, where's the likely roads?
I was going to say, with a crit, you look ahead and there's a drive that comes off down at the bottom. You see another house up kind of on a ridge ahead of you that goes up to it. And you see some fresh mud spattered tracks on the road in front of you. Look like a vehicle pulling out rapidly with no tracks through it.
Got it. Atticus, while you're talking at the map, has kind of wandered off from the hood of the car, and you hear kind of his voice over in the darkness. He says, "Gentlemen, ladies," and he kind of gestures his hand down to the tracks.
Audrey's flashlight follows it.
And then he turns his head towards the house or the driveway.
So it looks like it left that driveway.
Yep.
Taking a look at this map real quick, like how many other roads are there? Is this like, is it unrealistic to think we could like catch up to them or find them or anything?
We know what direction they were going.
You know what direction they go, and there's not many turnoffs, but you're at least a few minutes behind at this point. If these tracks were them, they would definitely get to a couple intersections before that.
Because we didn't see anyone pass us.
No. Going the other way, no. No one went back up the way you were.
Gentlemen, we have one down at the house. That might be our best bet. We have units inbound. 13 minutes, 12 minutes.
I look at the cop and the agents.
I just nod and start rolling up the map.
Are you going back to the house? You going down to this driveway?
I think we go back to the house.
So the car was parked in the driveway of a house.
I mean, you think so.
Think so.
You're looking ahead of the road on it. That's like your quick assessment.
Once we see the mud trail, if we go to the driveway, does it clearly look like there's a...
Do you go to the driveway?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
So you get down to the driveway, walk down there, get flashlights, and you see this driveway, it turns off the main road pretty sharp, and it goes up kind of a winding spot. The house is kind of pretty high up. It's on like a little outlook. No lights on up there. And if you guys are all going down there, won't even make you roll a search. You can see, because it looked like it was a quick peel out.
Sure.
It wasn't a vehicle up at the house. Right. It was a vehicle that was
parked
a bit off the road, out of sight from the road, maybe, 50, 60 feet in. You wouldn't see it driving by that burned out of here.
And do we see any blood?
Give me a search roll there.
Failed.
6.
Damn.
Under 30.
You see a couple small droplets of blood. Very little.
Atticus kind of absent-mindedly bends down,
Drinks it.
touches it with his hand,
Doctor.
and he holds up his hand to your flashlight, and there's a little red spot on it.
Just don't step in the tire tracks. I walk back to the car.
I follow him.
All right. You guys heading where?
Back up to the house. Yeah.
Back up to the house. You get up to the house. You're expecting, based off the radio traffic, a unit maybe 5 minutes or less away at this point. You pull back up, floodlights or headlights revealing the similar house, giving you a very different feeling than the first time you pulled up. What are you doing?
I'm going to go check out the body.
Same.
Okay.
Atticus stays in the car.
Atticus stays in the car. Buck and Slater get out.
Before I get out of the car, I reload my revolver.
Okay. Buck already reloaded.
As you guys as we kind of pull into the house, Atticus says, we thought there might be two, and it seems as though there were.
Slater just nods as he puts rounds into the revolver.
Pearson's got the 38 Super in her back in her hip holster, and she's got the shotgun now.
Okay. Pearson, you going with them?
Yeah, I'm going to lead them to the body.
Okay. You come up to this corner of the house. So remember, as you looked at the house to the right, the ground kind of fell away, tree line the back, porch began on the backside, wrapped around. You hit this figure right at the corner of the house, and they fell back away. You come around the back, shotgun, pistols in hand, sweep your lights out, and see an empty porch.
Oh, fuck.
You guys move up to it, and you see a considerable amount of blood on the porch. Buck, you get up there next to Pearson.
She's in disbelief.
What's your medicine?
It is 60.
Okay. You bend down. You guys see like spatterings of blood. You see smears of blood. Who has forensics?
I do.
If you have forensics, make a snap roll.
Oh, yeah, I do.
What's the snap roll?
It's me making up a term. Like your immediate assessment of looking at this.
That's
15.
That's another fail.
Under 15.
Wow.
What it looks like is there's blood smatterings and there's blood smears. You assume a through and through hit. So the figure was hit, fell back, blood smearing, pouring from an exit wound. Their body smeared it. Buck, as you lean down, you look at the blood. It's dry. It's caked. You go to kind of reach a gloved hand out. You push it, and it's crusted over, and you kind of break it, and it runs free a bit. This happened mere moments ago. Give me a sanity roll.
That's a 6.
1 if you succeed. You would estimate this blood is 6 hours old.
You did fail out of med school.
He withdrew.
You guys that aren't like bending down, Slater and Pearson, you're looking and you just kind of see a bunch of blood. Some of it smeared, some of it kind of spattered and pooled up. And that's your assessment. You see Buck lean down and...
Can I... he's going to lean down and like... He's going to...
6 to 12 hours old. Immediate assessment.
He's going to like pick some flecks off of it with like a stick or something, and he's going to hold it up to his nose and smell it. Does it have any sort of chemical smell? Does it smell like normal irony blood?
It doesn't have much of a scent. It's, old blood has kind of, but it smells like old blood, I guess. Doesn't smell anything unnatural. You don't smell like anything kind of like a different agent there.
What the you can't...
Pearson.
Doctor.
I'm going to have you make a sanity roll as well.
Okay.
The second shot, you didn't see super clearly. They were moving in a flash. You took a snapshot. You had this figure.
She probably can't be even sure that she hit the second one.
Mm-hmm. You had the first one dead to rights. You saw center mass, impact, drop like a sack of potatoes.
Dead. She assumes dead.
Yes.
97.
Is that a pass or a fail?
97 under 98 sanity, actually. No, I fail.
Dear Lord.
1d4.
Slater says, well, we're sure to find this one dead in the woods at the bottom of this hill.
That shot was through and through. This amount of blood.
I nod. I say, I know. I've seen wounds like that. I was in the Great War, don't forget. Man doesn't walk away from this. We'll find him down there. I go to the edge of the porch and I shine my light down.
Okay.
If you're playing a drinking game, listeners, every time he mentions that he was in the Great War, take a
the
shot.
only time I've ever mentioned it.
I know, it's the only time, but I feel like that's the old man thing to do.
Doctor, though, you need to look at this.
Kane's back in the car still.
Oh.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm
You
going to
say
go
that,
back.
kind of just thinking he's behind you, focus otherwise. And then you look back and you see his silhouette in the car.
I'm going to go back, get him, walk over to the window, knock on it, put his hand up, and wave you out of the car.
Officer Buck?
Yeah.
How can I help you?
You need to come and take a look at something.
Is it someone I know? He kind of puts his hand on the car.
No, maybe something you know about. Listen, I know
Lead
a
the
lot
way.
about blood and human bodies and, crime. You got to come and take a look at this. And he's going to bring you over to this.
You see
dry
police
pool of
lights
blood.
coming around the corner, blue flashing as they round the bend.
Atticus walks across the yard towards the porch and climbs the stairs.
You walk around the back of this house. You look down. You see Agent Slater standing up on the porch, his flashlight kind of panning out into the woods and down below. Agent Slater, Counselor Pearson kind of at the edge of the porch, shotgun kind of lowered.
Could I actually do something
Yeah, I'm
besides stand at
sorry.
the edge of the porch?
Go ahead.
Audrey's, as soon as those lights become visible, she's going to go back inside.
Into the house?
And she is going to make sure the door is closed and secured into the secret room.
Okay.
Good call.
All right. So you just see Agent Slater as you get back around there. Buck brings you around the back, Dan, and Atticus Kane looks down at some blood in this, flashlight. A good amount of blood, smeared, spattered.
What's the problem?
Josh, you said when I picked off some of the dried stuff, it oozed again. Has that ooze dried up again, or is it still seem wet in these minutes?
You bend down.
Moments?
It's solid. You poke next to it, and it kind of gives like it's spongy, but it doesn't ooze forward.
Can I?
That was 3 minutes ago.
Was it fresh?
Dan, do you have anything for biology, medicine, first aid, anything like that?
I have chemistry,
Chemistry?
but other than that, I am not a
That
medical
kind of
man.
doctor.
Yeah, not that kind of doctor.
What's your chemistry?
40.
I mean, you know how blood works.
Yeah.
Enough. You're not a professional, but like,
Sure. I mean, I cut my hand.
this is not fresh blood.
Sure.
This is old blood.
Atticus crouches down next to you and he says, Did we miss this? Was this here before?
You walked up these steps and passed it, all four of you, when you went in. Or I don't know if it was all four of you. I don't remember. But whoever went around back, there was at least two of you.
I think it was Jake.
I say there wasn't any blood back here before. That's all from our assailant.
You were moving slowly and deliberately. You are certain you didn't miss this.
This looks hours old. Minutes.
Cop car pulls up into the driveway. You hear a couple doors open and slam. Ithaca PD! Sergeant Buckles! Officer Leach! Where are you?
But round back.
You hear some footfalls, and Officer Leach and Officer Collins come around the back. Collins is toting a shotgun. Leach has his revolver out. And he says, all right, we came as quick as we can. You got one down. One, did you get the other one?
Both are unaccounted for. I point over the side of the porch and I say, down there somewhere.
We just came up that way.
Well, one of them got away in a vehicle. The other one probably didn't make it to the vehicle. We'll probably find him in the woods here.
Josh,
I think it's safe to wait till morning to start looking, though.
Atticus, as they were coming over, kind of moved away and kind of stepped inside the doorway again where he saw Audrey disappear.
Mm-hmm.
And he steps in the door and he says, Audrey, fetch us a glass, will you?
You shout that and you look and you see she's sitting on the couch and she's just smoking. There's a shotgun is leaned up next to her, leaning on the couch, and her head is back and she's just like.
He kind of turns like 90 and sees that and then walks through to the kitchen to get a glass himself.
Okay.
His goal is to scrape a little bit of this blood into a glass.
Okay. You grab a glass. You walk back out. Pearson, you're sitting there watching Dr. Kane move through.
Her hands are like wavering as she like sees him, but then returns to her.
Blue lights flashing overhead, voices of the cops. You hear Buck talking with Leach and Collins. Hear Slater insisting on this dead body you'll find. Kane comes back out to the back porch.
As Kane walks back and he sees Audrey, he says, Don't worry, Audrey. We'll get him next time. And assuming that you just missed.
You reach down and you kind of scrape the the glass like along the edge of the.
I take out like a little pocket knife that I assume he carries.
Take the pocket knife and you kind of scrape it along. As you scrape it, the blood flakes and then sort of crumbles in a soft breeze through the mountain, and the blood just catches in the air, flakes away into nothingness. And we will stop right there.
Wow.
God damn it! Wow, we let out a it's like a
I have
Boondock Saints.
so many skills that I get to upgrade.
Same, dude.
Thank you for listening to the Nastygram RPG podcast. This has been the Ithaca Project. Our intro music is Walkin' with Michael Douglas by Wilhelm Scream. Outro music, Dark Ritual by Adrian von Ziegler. All scores by Adrian von Ziegler and Antti Martikainen. If you enjoy the show, please take the time to give us a rating, tell a friend, and find us and interact with us on the webs. We are on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, email, Reddit, all that shit. And of course, see you next Tuesday.
That's nasty.
For those that don't know me, I am Dr. Atticus Finch. I considered Otto not only a colleague, but a friend.
Stop, that's not your name.
Yeah!
That's from To Kill a Mockingbird.
Yes, it is! That's an awesome slip. Here I am again. Here I am again. Totally forgot my voice. Woo! Oh boy! All right.
Can we get you a little clip, a little close?
Yeah, like I need a little. Just have to get nose surgery.
Here I am again.
Here I am again.
We'll pause here to wait for Dan as he leaves in the middle of the only combat we've had.
Classy.
He's so excited he had to pee. He's like a
Fucking 38 minutes into the session.
He's like a dog. He didn't even have a monster yet.